Welcome to InFocus Town Talk for the town of Plymouth. Today I am joined by Melissa Arrighi, Town Manager for Plymouth. It's July, Melissa. How are you? Thank you for joining us.
Anytime.
So it's summertime. Let's start this week or this month's show by talking about some of the fun things happening around town.
I met a resident yesterday, so great timing. And she was asking me, what else is there to do besides, fireworks on July 4th? What else is there to do in town? I said, there is so much to do in Plymouth all the time. I mean, you take a look at our first Fridays in Plymouth, if you want an evening of art and culture, you look at the theaters that you can go to in town. The Spire has Clue coming up by the Americana Theater Company. I can't wait to go. I already got tickets. There's also Priscilla Beach Theater, and there's always things going on right here downtown at the local art center. In addition, you have the Plymouth Center for the Arts, I should call it. In addition, you have the museums to go to. Our 1749 courthouse is opening back up. There's always Pilgrim Hall Museum and the Plantation. And if you think it's fun to learn a little bit about your government, the Charter Commission is welcoming in the public, and they have advertisements on our website and here in Town Hall. If you want to weigh in on what's happening with government, you think that would be a good thing to do. Our Center for Active Living always has events. As a matter of fact, we took Duxbury on in a game of cornhole last week. I do have to say, in the big scheme of things, Duxbury won, but I won my match. Me and the Center for Active Living Director, Michelle Brady. So I feel pretty good about it. The library has their summer program. They have the Spice of the Month Club, which is exactly what it sounds like. And I also was looking at their calendar quickly, and I thought it was interesting to see a show that they have, or it's a speech that they're going to be giving. It's called Two Grannies on the Road. And it's two women only in their 50s that are talking about how they did a change of career. So the Symes House has something going on. And if you're a walker and like nature trails, last week I went out to an event at the Tidmarsh Wildlife Sanctuary, and it was beautiful. And there's amazing walking trails out there. So if you want something to do in Plymouth, come here, look around you. You can find information on our website. And if you just do a Google search of things to do in Plymouth, I found it really helpful.
So it's a perfect time to be a backyard tourist, right? Middle of summer, there's so much to do in Plymouth. So in addition to the town website, they can also go to seeplymouth.com. They can also go to the Plymouth Chamber. Everybody has wonderful listings of events and calendars and everything that's happening. So don't miss it. That for all ages, for all interests, there's something happening in Plymouth during the summer. So even though it's a fun time of year for all of us, work still happens and government is still happening every day. So tell me a little bit about public meeting information, because as we've been opening up, things have been changing and adjusting, and it might be a little confusing for people. What do they need to know about how to find information about government in action?
Well, there's been some changes to the open meeting law, and PACTV has been really helpful in trying to allow us to give as much flexibility as possible for people to participate in meetings. So before, back pre-COVID, we met in person, and you could watch it on TV, but if you wanted to speak at the meeting, you needed to be there in person. That's an option. There was, during the height of COVID, we had virtual meetings where we would all meet from separate places. We would meet on a Zoom platform, and people were able to Zoom in and speak as they were recognized. So that was all virtual. Now, with PACTV's help, many communities, Plymouth included, is looking at a hybrid option where if you want to come to the meeting and be in person, you can. If you want to stay at home or in another location and participating in the meeting, you can do that virtually as well. And this isn't just for the participants, the residents, this is also for board members. If they, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter if it's a health reason or a personal reason, if they want to participate from home, they can. Now, in saying all of that, it requires staffing, a ton of work by PACTV, and there has to be some kind of disclosure put out there that if there's a technological glitch, the chances are the meeting will continue. So you need to know that. You'll be able to still watch it on a rerun, but participating live, as we all know, and there's not a person out there that hasn't had some kind of technology problem at one time or another, things are going to happen. So the select now is looking at what do they think the best model is for Plymouth, and should they adopt something town-wide for all our boards and committees, or should they leave that up to the individual boards? And I just want to make sure they make that decision, they keep in mind sometimes technology will not be available. So if you have a board or committee that is meeting in a small meeting room, maybe they're holding their meeting at the 1749 courthouse or at that new meeting location in Town Square. That might not be an option for them. So they just need to think about that.
Those are all really good points. Thank you. And for people who are interested in any of the meetings that PACTV is covering and how they can watch, and there are a variety of ways, they can just go to PACTV, pactv.org/Plymouth to see everything that's happening that week. And of course, going to the town website and just clicking on the public meetings link, you can see everything that's happening in town government, so you can participate in the way that makes sense for you. And that brings another question, town meeting. Believe it or not, it's coming up very quickly. And what are the conversations going on around that for this year?
You know what? It's always, I love summer. I'm a hot weather person. So, you worry about people and you think about cooling centers, but, beyond that need, I just love this really warm weather. So it's always tough for me when I have to start talking about, October town meeting right now, because I don't even want to think about the fall. However, we are doing preparations. Town meeting will be on October 16th. Steve Trifletti, a great town moderator, has appeared before the select board and asked them to approve, endorse a virtual approach to town meeting. So a hybrid virtual approach. So both department heads, division heads, town meeting representatives, presenter of articles, those people will be able to make a decision on if they want to participate in town meeting from home or if they want to be in person. Now, it's going to require a lot of work, quite a bit of work to prepare for that. We've had very successful all virtual town meetings, but now we're going to try and do both. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a challenge. I know that we can do it. Steve is incredibly supportive. We're a tight ship, so we need to be able to get our act together. We'll work closely with PACTV. We'll work closely with the company that does our virtual or our voting. And we also will need to work with our tech people and the schools, but we'll be able to accomplish this. And the town meeting representatives have been really great about, took a little bit of time, but getting on board with how to do that. And now they seem to really enjoy it. So that's what we're working on for the fall town meeting.
And I have to tell you, it's been impressive what the town has been able to do with technology to be able to continue town meeting and bring it to everybody. And I think in this last town meeting, didn't you have the biggest participation on record? It was impressive.
You're absolutely right. I think we had every town meeting representative except for one. I mean, that makes you feel really good when you hear people talk about, get more involved in your government and get people out to vote. When you have almost every single town meeting representative there, well, there's your government in action, and that's a success story.
Absolutely. And speaking about government in action, it's government day to day has also been dealing with the same challenges as every other local business and nonprofit organization with maintaining staff and some staff shortages. Can you tell us a little bit about what your needs are right now, coming back out of all the closures we've had?
So we have a ton of open positions, and a ton might be a slight exaggeration, but we have quite a few open positions. In addition, I remember the days where being a patrolman was such a coveted position that civil service list would be so long, people would get discouraged and say, I'm way down and I'm number 40 or 45, I'm never going to get on. Well, that isn't the case now. Municipalities, and certainly Plymouth, we are looking for people to fill a lot of our positions. That's why I wanted to use this platform, social media, anything that residents can help us with. If they know somebody looking for a position, go to our website, look at our open jobs. Working for the town of Plymouth is fantastic. It comes with its challenges. Our pay is not always as competitive as other communities, but we have awesome benefits. So take a look at our jobs, and if you know somebody, help us spread the word, because the demand for services is not decreasing. So we need some great people to fill the jobs and help us.
Excellent, thank you. And we'll provide all of that information for residents and interested viewers as well. So as I said, government continues to operate, and there's so many parts of that. And there's a lot of work that's also been being done in facilities. Can you give us a quick update?
So the facilities in Plymouth, we've talked about this a lot, and certainly it received a lot of press. We have some buildings that are certainly run down. And the fire stations, we operate 7 of them here in Plymouth, and they have needed work. And we've been talking about this now for 5 years, and we've done a lot. But in terms of an update, the Pine Hill Station, which is so beautiful, the walkway out front is being formed and poured concrete this week. We're addressing some light issues and changing them out to LEDs. And we're working on the flooring in the bunk rooms. Those need to be replaced. At headquarters, JB, our DPW director, had crews up there this week cleaning up, and we start a big remediation project currently in the basement area. In Cedarville, the kitchen needs a lot of help. So we're looking at a redesign, rebuild right now. And then, of course, not related to the fire department, but the police department. That's a beautiful looking headquarters, but people don't realize that it's older now. So we're working on some roof issues with Corolla Roofing, and we have a pre-construction meeting on that in the next few weeks. So hang in there with us. We are working on these buildings. Town meeting has been supportive. The selectmen have been great about adding to the staffing for our facilities management. We are always going to still have to contract out quite a bit. And certainly as town manager, my recommendation in the future is going to be that we do sub out quite a bit of this work, especially in our bigger, more complicated buildings.
So you've done a lot of work in really making sure that you're communicating information with the community. And in addition to your town manager's report, which is available online and on the website, all the information you provide at the Board of Selectmen's meeting, you and your entire team have also done a lot of additional work using social media and a weekly show that you do now on PACTV called Truth Be Told. Can you talk a little bit about that and what your goals are for communication with the community?
So because of you pushing me to do a weekly show, which I should have been doing, I think it's going really well. I mean, it's hard to know how many people watching it and getting the information out of it, but I do think it's a fantastic way to have the public meet some of the department and the division heads and the other staff that they hear about in my town manager's reports. When I first started the show, I thought I was just going to be going over what's in my town manager's report. It's another way to really get all the information I have out there because they're pretty comprehensive reports. But quickly I decided to just have talking for 25 minutes. Might be a little tough to watch or listen to. So I started to bring people on and I think it's going really well. And I got to tell you, I'm getting a kick out of it because I've worked with like Tom Marr for so long and he's got this like soothing, calm way about him, very different than me. And for him to go over all things happening at the airport, pictures, that's going to bring residents down there that may or may not typically go to their great airport administration building. And having David Gould on the show to talk about the environmental projects and JB to talk about, I mean, he's got one of the biggest departments here with so many things going on in the community. So I hope everybody's enjoying it. I'm really trying to engage those residents that they're busy all the time. They work full-time jobs, they come home, they're exhausted, they're dealing with, children and bills to pay and dinner and all their responsibilities at home. So if everybody can help me try and get the information out there, I'd love to get as many people as possible, even if they don't want to get involved because they don't have time, at least they're in the know of what's happening.
And reaching out to you and asking questions because you can cover them in your show each week. So it's another way to connect with you, to connect with your department, and to find out more. And we literally, believe it or not, we only have 1 minute left, but there is an exciting new thing, an exciting project that has been rolled out, that has been worked on for over a year through the Center for Active Living and their documentary. Do you want to talk about that really quickly before we finish up today's show?
Oh, the Center for Active Living, boy, that Michelle Brady, that director, she is just so engaged and so caring. I mean, she's pretty fantastic. So they put together a video and she sent me the clip on it. You can link to it on YouTube. And it was just an idea she had and really a labor of love for her. That's her words. And she saw all the distress that was happening to the senior population during COVID. And she wanted to give almost a video of hope to reach out to everybody to see how resilient, and the seniors aren't, frail. Not all the seniors are frail and at home. They're getting together. They are kind of breaking what some of the myths are about seniors in general. So, and it's pretty inspiring. And if people have a chance to watch it, I wish you would. I'm actually going to ask the chairman of the board if I can show it at a select board meeting.
Excellent. And we're going to provide a link for that in today's show as well. And PACTV was just so honored to be a part of it and to be able to celebrate the, as you said, the resiliency of the people who are part of this, community. As always, it's been a pleasure to talk with you today. Thanks for joining us, and we really look forward to seeing you next month.